And I believe I am one. That's a good thing. Go. Go. Sure there isn't a go. Okay. I think I'm good now. So, hello everybody, welcome back. And I'm back with Portal 2. And I believe we left off with Shell and Gladys falling down into Old Aperture. But, we'll have to see. I'm not this part. Oh, football.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
So,
Where are you?
how are you holding up? Because
I'm a potato. Love that one.
Oh, good.
Damn.
My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
My slow
So we
clap
have that.
processor.
Since it doesn't look like we're going anywhere, well, we are going somewhere, alarmingly fast actually. But since we're not busy other than that, here's a couple of facts. He's not just a regular moron. He's the product of the greatest minds of a generation, working together with the express purpose of building the dumbest moron who ever lived. And you've just put him in charge of the entire facility. Good, that's still working. Hey, just in case this pit isn't actually bottomless,
Which isn't
do you
possible.
think maybe you could unstrap one of those long fall boots of yours and shove me into it?
As
Just
a
remember to land on
robot
one foot.
who understands basically everything, you really believe that a bottomless pit exists? Maybe a far pit, but even then, like, you still gotta worry about the Earth's core. Unless you're like, unless you're not in the middle of the world, if you're like a little off to the side. I know the Earth is round and all, but it's a bird. Yeah, the bird, he took away Gladys. Well, this is Old Aperture. It's a fire. I don't know how that's possible. It's a little water right here. Yes. What's wrong with this stuff? I forget. Just stick to Gladys. Let's look at parts of the weird book. This could be like parts of Gladys from the first game. When she grew up and whatnot. There. Portal. Like, look at these robot parts. That does not look like a turret. That looks like it's bits from the original Gladys. Well, I shouldn't say original, because the one right now is the same Gladys as before. But, you know, Gladys from the first game had a lot more parts to her, but then you destroyed it. Right. Top down. Cordless gun. Cordless guns. It's a thing. Oh. And, I can throw this. Oh. Whoop. Whoop. Nice. What if I do not want to keep out? Who's gonna stop me? There's literally no one here that's alive. Not even Douglas Ratton is down here. Ooh, Douglas Ratman might have been down here. No. Pull lever. Flashing up. Bring up. Back in. I don't know, Carolyn. What do these people buy? Tattered hats? Beer dirt? Gotta go. Bop, bop, bop. Bam! Boss. No. Look at this Fallout 4-esque door. Open it up. Oh, damn. It's that deep tunnel. Time to go through the tunnel. Damn. I wonder why there's chairs here. I've always wondered why there's just a chair and a stool just behind me. Like, who's gonna be sitting here in the total darkness while this vault door is closed? Yeah, I know, game. I'm gonna open the door. Just give me a second. I'm analyzing stuff. Jesus Christ. Oh, loading here. That's fine. Liberal. Damn. I wonder how this place is even flooded. We're like miles down, like through the Earth's crust. How is this place flooded in water? I don't get that. I don't get that one bit. Where am I supposed to go? I don't think they're here. Here's all. Actually, wait, maybe. Yeah. Portal. There. The lever. Aperture Science Innovations. The original Aperture.
Aperture Science.
Cave Johnson.
War heroes, Olympians, you're here because we want the best. And you are it. So, who is ready to make some science?
I am.
Now, you all met one another on the limo ride over, so let me introduce myself. I'm
Cave Johnson. I own the place.
That eager voice you heard is the lovely Carolyn, my assistant. Rest assured, she has transferred your honorarium to the charitable organization of your choice. Isn't that right, Carolyn?
Yes, sir, Mr. Johnson.
She's the backbone of this facility. Pretty as a postcard, too. Sorry, fellas. She's married. To science.
When do you think, like, I love this part of the game. Not for, like, the gameplay or anything, but just to, like, see just all the detail. Because I think I've said this before, but Portal 2 gives so much story, so much backstory and lore, but at a good pace and a good amount for how lengthy the game is. Because this part of the game, it shows you how, you know, old Aperture worked. It shows you some stuff about this Carolyn person and Gladys's connections. I don't want to say anything too much to spoil the game. I know, like, the game is like 10 years old now, but no, just don't want to spoil anything and say that stuff later. But throughout this whole part of the game, you can just see how Aperture is this like big company that gets like the best, like literally war heroes, astronauts, and Olympians to participate in these tests. But then it goes like to bankrupt because, and you can just see that the company goes bankrupt the further you know go down old Aperture. Like right now, this is Aperture in its prime. Aperture Science Innovations. This was like the 60s, 70s.
There's 1,000 tests performed every day here in our enrichment spheres. I can't
1,000
personally
tests.
oversee every one of them, so these pre-recorded messages will cover any
This was
questions
Cave
you might
Johnson.
have and respond to
Dangerous
any
point
incidents
time.
that may occur in the course of your science adventure. Your test
Local-
assignment will vary depending on the manner in which you have bent the world to your will. Those of you helping us test the repulsion gel today, just follow the blue line on the floor. Those of you who volunteered to be injected with praying mantis DNA, I've got some good news and some bad news. Bad news is we're postponing those tests indefinitely. Good news is we've got a much better test for you, fighting an army of mantis men. Pick up a rifle and follow the yellow line. You'll know when the test starts.
Like, look, this one's empty. This was Cave Johnson during this time. He was young man running this company. And look at this stuff. Best new science company. Obviously, that's that one in this world that's official. Oh wait, no, this is even in the 60s. It's the 40s. It's the 40s. 1940, 1947. Best new science company. Aperture Science. This is Aperture in its prime. This Spirit of Idaho National Potato Board for the Promotion of Potato Science. Yes, they did potatoes. Like this, look at this. Cave Johnson, shower curtain salesman of 1943. Aperture used to be like curtains. They used to sell shower curtains, and Cave Johnson was a salesman there. He made it to this, to what it is. U.S. Department of Defense Contractor of the Year, runner-up. U.S. Department of Defense Contractor of the Year, runner-up, 1952, 1954. Top 100 Applied Science Companies, 1949, Aperture Science, number 2. Look at this. Local entrepreneur by salt mines, Cave Johnson to bring science industry to Upper Michigan. The future is here and it's under the Earth's crust, says Science Maverick. All this is just jumble, you can read it, but look at this. Cave Johnson, shower curtain salesman, 1943. This is basically Aperture in its prime, like getting built up, it being good and all, being 40s. Cave Johnson being like, yo, what's up? It's all good. Then the more you go down, like, it's where the game, you see Cave Johnson just going downhill. I know this is already a thing, but it's actually nice to know that Half-Life and Portal are in the same, universe. Like, canonically, they're in the same universe. Because later in the game, you hear Cave Johnson go when the company of Aperture is starting to go bankrupt, and stuff is about to go on, you can hear a voice message of Cave Johnson being like, Black Mesa can eat my bankrupt, and then just cuts off his camera. But in Black Mesa, that's a place in Half-Life. I've never played Half-Life, I don't know much about it, but I do know Black Mesa is the Half-Life, which is interesting. It's just a basic game about Shell leaving Aperture and finding Gordon Freeman or something. I feel like a crossover between those two people, especially if it's not in the same universe. It's been done in the fan-made tests. There's this one called Into the Multiverse. They make it.
They say great science is built on the shoulders of giants. Not here. At Aperture, we do all our science from scratch. No hand-holding.
Interesting. Aperture used to be this place where they made the greatest discoveries. Come on, man. In old Aperture was where the portal gun was created. It's not till Gladys got a hold of the technology to make it more
All right, let's
compact.
get started. This first test involves something the lab boys call repulsion gel. You're not part of the control group,
Remember,
by the way.
this
You
test
get the
is
gel.
unsolvable
Last
without
poor son of a
Aperture
gun
Science
got blue
quantum
paint.
device.
All joking aside, that
The
did
portal gun
happen.
used to be
Broke
like
every
that.
bone in his legs.
It
Tragic,
used
but
to be
informative.
that
Or
huge
so I'm told.
backpack with that tube just shooting out the bullets. If you have not received one, please find a test associate or participate. It's only until GLaDOS, got a hold of this technology to make it into this compacted thing. Repulsion gel. Bounce gel. Confused. Here. Button for the cube. Boing! This is how cubes used to look like. That's weird.
The lab boys just informed me that I should not have mentioned the control group. They're telling me I ought to stop making these pre-recorded messages. That gave me an idea. Make more pre-recorded messages. I pay the bills here, I can talk about the control group all damn day.
Yo, respect this man. I'm sure they're just suggesting, but he has a point. He does run Aperture. He has, like, yeah, if he wants to, he can. You really can't stop him.
For this next test, we put nanoparticles in the gel. In layman's terms, that's a billion little gizmos that are going to travel into your bloodstream and pump experimental genes and RNA molecules and so forth into your tumors. Now, maybe you don't have any tumors. Well, don't worry. If you sat on a folding chair in the lobby and weren't wearing lead underpants, we took care of that too.
There we go. Let me just check my yes. Ah. Boing. Like, look, you can see that tiny portal gun compared to what it used to be. Though I am clipping through it. That's fine. It's a 2011 game. You can't expect the best graphics. I mean, the gameplay and graphics are good for a game like this, but you can't expect it to be amazing. I believe the Portal franchise was an idea prompted. It's a simple idea, but the whole thing was prompted by like two college kids, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, at least. I could be wrong. Something like that, though. Dang. The cube got destroyed. I saw an interesting video. It's not like an official like game theorist video, but it showed what happened. It's by this person, Harry101 UK. He does like a bunch of SFM stuff, and like he does like Portal stuff as well. And he made this concept in one of his videos on what would happen if you mixed propulsion gel with repulsion gel. Repulsion being the one that bounces you, propulsion the one that speeds you up. If you mix them, infinite like momentum and stuff like that. Yeah. The propulsion gel would make it go fast, and the repulsion gel would make it bounce off all the walls, bounce off everything, making it infinite momentum. Which I thought was an interesting concept. Of course, I don't think mixing the gels in this game, it's not something you can do per se. It's something that like you can grab your portal gun and mix the gels like that, like just spraying them next to each other, but it does nothing. And I feel like it should do something. Like it'll just cover the other one.
In case you got covered in that repulsion gel, here's some advice the lab boys gave me. Do not get covered in the repulsion gel. We haven't entirely nailed down what element it is yet, but I'll tell you this, it's a lively one, and it does not like the human skeleton.
Oh god.
All these science spheres are made of asbestos, by the way. Keeps out the rats. Let us know if you feel a shortness of breath, a persistent dry cough, or your heart stopping, because that's not part of the test. That's asbestos. Good news is the lab boys say the symptoms of asbestos poisoning show a median latency of 44.6 years. So if you're 30 or older, you're laughing. Worst case scenario, you miss out on a few rounds of canasta. Plus, you forwarded the cause of science by 3 centuries. I punch those numbers into my calculator, it makes a happy face. I like your style. You make up your own rules, just like me. Bean Counter said I couldn't fire a man just for being in a wheelchair. Did it anyway. Ramps are expensive.
Damn. I can't tell if this man is just like a cheapskate or he discriminates against handicapped people. But that's just too funny. I'm sorry, that's just where my humor's at. But to be honest, I couldn't really care if anyone cared, really. I make it a point as to let people know that I don't care. It's honestly reached an unhealthy amount, but I just simply don't care. If I offend you, I don't really care. I forgot. I've made this clear to most people I know. I don't care. It's unhealthy, but it's the truth. Makes me look like an asshole, but I don't care. Of course, there are things I take seriously, but things that there are things I take seriously and things that I will make myself care about. Well, not make myself, but things I will care about. There are only like certain things though. Not many things. There are not a lot of things that I care about in this world. There are some things I do, and a lot of things I don't. I'll just leave it at that.
Just a heads up, that coffee we gave you earlier had fluorescent calcium in it so we can track the neuronal activity in your brain. There's a slight chance the calcium could harden and vitrify your frontal lobe. Anyway, don't stress yourself thinking about it.
Glad
I'm
we didn't have
serious.
that coffee.
Visualizing the scenario while under stress actually triggers the reaction.
Jesus. I feel bad for the people that have to go to work every day. It's probably just hours going down elevators.
Now, if you're part of
Honestly.
control group Kepler-7, we implanted a tiny microchip about the size of a postcard into your skull. Most likely you've forgotten it's even there. But if it starts vibrating and beeping during this next test, let us know. Because that means it's about to hit 500 degrees, so we're going to need to go ahead and get that out of you pretty fast.
Boop.
I'm telling them, keep your pants on. All right, this next test may involve trace amounts of time travel. So,
God.
word of advice, if you meet yourself on the testing track, don't make eye contact. Lab boys tell me that'll wipe out time. Entirely. Forward and backward. So, do both of yourselves a favor and just let that handsome devil go about his business.
Damn. I don't want to see that test, honestly. Like, what could they do in the 1940s that'll involve time travel? Like, we were talking about events, like, this is literally the 1940s. Like, how do they already have time travel? How do they have access to time travel? It just blows my mind. Boink. Bonk.
If you're hearing this, it means you're taking a long time on the catwalks between tests. The lab boys say that might be a fear reaction. I'm no psychiatrist, but coming from a bunch of eggheads who wouldn't recognize the thrill of danger if it walked up and snapped their little pink bras, that sounds like projection. They didn't fly into space, storm a beach, or bring back the gold. No, sir, we did. It's you and me against the world, son. I like your grit. Hustle could use some work, though. Now let's solve this thing.
Yeah. You never want to get these things covered in gel. It's the most annoying thing. Sometimes you have to, like in this test, but it's annoying. You have to go through that. Bonk. Then you have to do this. And then cover it in gel.
Science isn't about why, it's about why not. Why is so much of our science dangerous? Why not?
I'm sorry, I need to go check something real quick. Sorry about that. Just had to check the
Congratulations.
thing.
The simple fact that you're standing here listening to me means you've made a glorious contribution to science. As founder and CEO of Aperture Science, I thank you for your participation and hope we can count on you for another round of tests. We're not going to release this stuff into the wild until it's good and damn ready, so as long as you keep yourself in top physical form, there'll always be a limo waiting for you. Say goodbye, Carolyn.
Goodbye, Carolyn.
She is a gem.
To this day, I still don't get why Shell can't use her portal gun to like pick up something, or even use the portal gun itself to just bust open this window. Like, how hard is it for Shell? And I know it's a video game, and like, yeah, and I shouldn't think too much into it, but like, thinking realistically, Shell could easily like put down her portal gun, pick up one of these like pieces of debris, go over to the glass, break it, and use her portal gun to get to the top. Or at least, like, try to get to this elevator. Realistically speaking. But, I know this was a short stream, but I think I might leave it off right now. I feel like getting through the first part of Aperture is a good place to leave off for today, so I will see you all in the next one.